Welcome to Stuff They Didn't Teach Me in Sunday School. Sometimes behavior is contagious. One of my daughter's scarier moments, she said, was when she was driving down the freeway in Los Angeles and she heard herself utter phrases about the other drivers that she had heard her father say. And she said that scared her. I'm not sure that was a compliment to her dad. Behavior can be contagious, and in the case of Jacob and his wife Rachel, or Laban and his daughter Rachel, we see some of that contagious nature of behavior. The cheat encounters a cheat in his uncle Laban and now has a cheat in a wife. In chapter 31 of Genesis, Jacob finally takes leave of his father-in-law Laban, the two of them having tried to cheat each other out of just about everything you can imagine, including wives and daughters, and heads back home. Laban had gone to shear his sheep, and Rachel stole her father's household gods. She ripped off her dad. Now you got to think about what that means. She ripped off the household gods. In pagan culture, the household gods gave you title to the land. She took her dad's title, and she took off with him. Well, Laban discovers they're gone in chapter 31, and he immediately goes after Jacob, who probably doesn't know that Rachel has them, because when Laban overtakes Jacob, you have this conversation in 30. And now you've gone away, Laban says, because you long greatly for your father's house. But why did you steal my gods? Jacob answered Laban, because I was afraid, for I thought that you would take your daughters from me by force. Anyone with whom you find your gods shall not live. He doesn't think he has them. In the presence of our kinsmen, point out what I have that's yours and take it. Now Jacob did not know that Rachel had stolen them. Sometimes the Bible pokes fun at pagan gods. And this is one of those cases. Listen carefully. Laban went into Jacob's tent and into Leah's tent and into the tent of the two maidservants, but he did not find them. And he went out of Leah's tent and entered Rachel's. Remember, Rachel's the one that stole them. Now Rachel had taken the household gods and put them in the camel's saddle and sat upon them. Laban felt all about the tent but did not find them. And she said to her father, let not my lord be angry that I cannot rise before you, for the way of women is upon me. She's having a period, and she's sitting on the household gods. In the minds of any Israelite, that would be hilarious. She's made unclean the pagan gods. The story continues as these two cheats decide that they can't really trust each other. And they sit down and make a covenant. Verse 44 of chapter 31, come now, let us make a covenant, you and I, and let it be a witness between you and me. So Jacob took a stone and set it up as a pillar. And Jacob said to his kinsmen, gather stones, and they took stones and made a heap, and they ate there by the heap. Laban said in verse 48, this heap is a witness between you and me, Jacob and Laban, today. Therefore he named it Mizpah. For he said, the Lord watch between you and me when we are absent one from another. I get a chuckle out of that passage because many people, young lovers, will trade what they call the Mizpah blessing medal, where the husband has half of the medal and the wife has the other half, and they wear it around the neck, and it has on it these beautiful words, may the Lord watch between you and me while we are apart one from another. But the context of that phrase is not so beautiful. It's two cheats saying to each other, may the Lord watch between you and me, for crying out loud, I can't trust you and you can't trust me, so the Lord will have to figure this thing out. Far from being what we really call the Mizpah blessing, it's the Mizpah covenant, a covenant that two cheats make, that they're going to quit cheating each other and let the Lord decide between them. And still, God is making happen what he wants to happen ultimately. He's still building his nation through Jacob and his house, and in the process, poking a little bit of fun at idols and a little bit of fun at two guys who can't get along.